Today we are going to discuss about preconditions or prerequisites of meditation. We know that to achieve any goal, we have to prove ourselves competent or eligible, and for that, we should have to practice some things. In meditation or in the field of meditation also, we have to prove ourselves that we are competent enough to go into meditation. And this is the reason why the yoga masters prescribe some preconditions or prerequisites. Let me explain all those prerequisites or preconditions. And before that, we would also learn about the goal of meditation. For that, I would like to share my presentation so that you can easily follow each and every point. So the topic of today's discussion is goal and prerequisites of direction meditation. The goal of meditation is the development of spiritual consciousness or the evolution of inner consciousness and self-realization. The following aphorism indicates about the goal of meditation or spiritual practices, and that goal is Sambhikkhaya Appagamappa Enam. It means observe the soul through the soul. Here it may be the question that there are two souls. One is being observed and other one is observer. It looks like this, that there are two souls, but actually it is the one and the same soul who is playing two different roles in meditation. The inner consciousness, the pure, authentic inner self, is the object of our meditation, and the observer is our own conscious mind. In that sense, we can say that there are two souls. One is being observed and the other one is observer. What is the goal of meditation? We have already seen that it is the evolution of inner consciousness. There are two levels of consciousness. One is a sensory and another one is extrasensory. Whatever we know are knowing through our five senses and mind is known as sensory consciousness. While whatever we are knowing by transcending these five senses and mind is called extrasensory. Though whatever we are knowing through senses, we are not knowing what the things is in true sense, but it is always. Our observation is, or perception is always polluted with our own liking and disliking or attachment and hatred. How we can control these kind of impulses or emotions which appear at the time of perceiving an object. And for that, we should learn meditation. So the goal of meditation at sensory level is to employ senses in right direction by opening third eye of equanimity. You all have heard about the third eye. And that third eye is especially meant for the inner insight or for insight or to look into the past and future. But here we are talking about the third eye of equanimity. Equanimity means our mind should be completely balanced, free of any kind of negative emotions when we are perceiving any object. So if we are perceiving an object and at the same time, if we are looking at the object through our eyes of spectacles of attachment and aversion or liking and disliking, then we are not observing the object as such, but it is the object of our liking and disliking, or it is the object which is the creation of our liking and disliking. And in that condition, we cannot be free from tensions, reactions, and many other issues. So, meditation helps us to control all those impulses or emotions at the time of observing any object through senses or any object which is being analyzed through mind. Now we would see that the another consciousness which we can develop at the level of senses with the support of meditation is concentration on one object to overcome fickleness of mind by practicing inwardness of or control on senses, which is known as pratisanlidata or pratyahar in yoga tradition. Our mind, our concentration is very short. We cannot concentrate on an object even for a minute. Our mind is so fickle, it is wandering here and there and not able to concentrate on an object for a longer period. If we want to go into meditation, our mind should be completely concentrated, and not only concentrated, it should concentrate for a longer period without any diversion or fickleness. And for that, we have to learn how it can be possible. Next is extrasensory perception or extrasensory consciousness. And according to Jainism, there are so many levels or gradations in extrasensory perception. And all the extrasensory perceptions are recognized as Atindriya Chetana. It means it is the consciousness which is transcendental. This consciousness works when we are not using the five senses and mind. When mind and five senses are completely quiet, in that condition, this kind of consciousness awakens and can see the objects which are subtle, distant, obstructed, and non-material or non-physical. The highest goal or samambonam of human life or meditation is self-realization, which is known as Atma Sakshatkar. Self means Atma in Indian term, and realization means Sakshatkar. So this kind of consciousness or self-realization also needs higher consciousness, because the sensory consciousness is not able to observe this inner authentic self, since it is non-material, non-physical, having no physical qualities, which are the subject matter of our five senses. Now we would see that there are several levels of sensory consciousness. One is called conscious mind, other one is called the subconscious mind, and third one is called the unconscious mind. All these are a kind of sensory consciousness. Here we can see that the conscious mind is hardly of 10% of in comparison to the subconscious and unconscious mind. The subconscious mind is said to be 90% of our sensory consciousness. And unconscious is again more than the subconscious mind. It is the main cause, which is creating this conscious mind and subconscious mind. So it is the seed, it is the main cause or root cause of conscious mind and subconscious mind. So unconscious mind is unconscious in the sense that our conscious mind is not able to say about it anything because it is beyond its approach or its range, and that's why it is considered as unconscious. It is working from within, but have no, in a sense, access. There is a higher consciousness, or you can say spiritual consciousness, and there are three such consciousness which are considered higher ones. The first is called avadi, that is called clairvoyance. Through this kind of higher consciousness, we can see the things which are at distance or subtle or obstructed, though they are material, but beyond the senses. So this knowledge has capacity to see those material objects which are subtle, which are distinct, which are obstructed, and without taking the help of five senses and even mind. The second higher consciousness is called Manaparya, that is mind reading knowledge. And this consciousness can be developed with the support of some spiritual practices, meditation, etc. It is known as telepathy in the field of science, though telepathy in comparison to mind reading is a lower ones, but the mind reading is a higher knowledge. Through this mind, we can perceive the thoughts of others' mind and can see what the others are thinking. The last and the highest level of consciousness is Kaivalya, known as omniscience. Nothing is hidden in this consciousness. Everything is very clear and distinct. Whatever is in the universe, physical or non-physical, distant or close, subtle or close, obstructed or unobstructed. All the objects are very much clear in this knowledge. So nothing is hidden from this knowledge. Nothing is secret for this knowledge. This is the highest level of consciousness or fullest development of our inner consciousness. So to develop this kind of highest consciousness is the main objective of meditation. Now we would see that if we want to achieve these goals and want to go for deeper meditation, we should have some qualities or some such kind of competency so that we can enter into meditation. So there are five requisites. Among the five, we would see that how these all requisites are somehow directing our souls in a proper, restricted, or disciplined way of living. Here it is said, if spiritual progress is our objective, to indulge in idle gossip in the marketplace will not be the right path. The right way would be to control the body, to exercise self-restraint in one's speech and in one's food or dietary habits, and to control the mind. So these are the essential conditions which we have to develop in us so that our mind can be easily concentrated on the object or on the goal of meditation. So among the five requisites, the first one is called Bhava Kriya, that is mindfulness. Bhava means consciousness and Kriya means action. So the action which is taken with full consciousness or full awareness is called mindfulness. So there are three dimensions of practicing this mindfulness. To be aware all the times is mindful meditation. To act consciously is mindful meditation. To live in the present is mindfulness. So these are the three steps which we have to follow to practice mindfulness during meditation or throughout this semester when we are learning about meditation. So we can make ourselves competent for going into meditation. Next is Pratikriya Mukti, that is non-reaction. When we want to go into deeper meditation or in meditation, we should have control on our emotions, aggressive emotions especially. So one who has started living a life of freedom from reaction can be truly independent. One who lives a life of reaction can never be free. Most of the time we think that we are living our own independent life, but it is not the reality. Whenever someone says some abusing words or hurting words, we come at once into anger and start reacting. It means our emotions are not under our control. They are under the control of someone else. If someone is behaving in a good way, we are happy. Otherwise, we become sad or very much reactive, or we can take some action against such kind of people who are doing something mischievous with us. So if we are doing something with a reaction, then we are not independent in true sense. If we can control our emotions in all situations, then it is said that you are independent. In that state, if you take some decision or any action, that action or decision can bring very positive long-term results. Maitri, friendliness. So Maitri in Hindi term stands for friendliness, and it is friendliness in universal sense. We have to be friend to all living beings, not only just to our fellow beings. So the basic principle of life is to remain cheerful. Happiness constitutes the great secret of living. A man who remains cheerful crosses many hurdles effortlessly. But is such happiness possible? It is possible with the evolution of a spirit of goodwill and friendliness. The man whose mind is filled with enmity cannot be happy. So it is required for a meditator especially, or those who want to go into meditation, that they should have such kind of a cheerful nature. Somebody can behave abruptly or adversely. Instead of that, he should behave friendly with that person, and by behaving friendly, he can be able to change the heart of that particular person who is an enemy or who has some kind of enmity in his mind towards you. So this friendliness is also one of the prerequisites or quality which a meditator must have. With bhojan, it means moderate food. Though we will discuss this moderate food in detail in next lecture, but here I am just saying a few words about it. Moderate food is also one of the essential conditions for going into meditation. If we take a very heavy meal and want to go into deeper meditation, it is very difficult because the heavy meal makes our stomach heavy and our energy flows towards the stomach to digest that heavy food. And in that condition, we cannot concentrate on an object without any diversions, or we can say fickleness. And if we concentrate, then also we cannot concentrate for a very longer period. So it is said that whenever we want to go into meditation, our stomach must be either empty or it would have very little amount, which is very essential for our, what to say, our satisfaction. So our body and our sentiments are intimately connected with food. While taking food, we should not think in terms of only appeasing hunger, rather, we should look at it from a very broad perspective. And there are three types of food which we have to be conscious. And the first one is sattvic. This food helps purify consciousness, sharpens intelligence, and keeps us healthy. Under this food, all different types of vegetables and fruits are considered. In second food or second category of food, which is known as rajasic, it makes men hyperactive and causes fickleness of mind as well as aggressiveness of our mood. So if we want to control those these impulses or emotions of fickleness, we should be very much moderate in taking such kind of spicy things. The last one is tamasic food. Tamasic food is taken in the sense that this is the food which makes men lazy, brutal, and retaliate. So all types of drugs, wine, and what we say, non-veg, and some other toxic, what we say, vegetables, they are considered under the tamasic food. And if possible, we should avoid taking such kind of things which are not good for our health and also not for our mind and emotion. The last prerequisite is mitabhashan. It means moderation in speech. Without talking, we cannot live. Without communication, nothing can be conveyed to others. So talking or speaking is a very essential part of our life. Talking is probably men's most predominant activity, but the fundamental principle of the philosophy of life is control over speech or moderation in talking. One should not speak unless it is necessary. Even when it is necessary to speak, one should exercise moderation and talk to the point. We know that mind and speech both are connected. If we are talking unnecessary, then we are having unnecessary thoughts in the mind. And when we are sitting in meditation, they will pop up and frequently, and we will get disturbed. So it is necessary for a meditator that he has to or she has to be very much moderate in her speech or in his speech, so that his mind can concentrate on the object of meditation for a longer period. So these are the 5 requisites which we have learned in this particular talk, and have seen that if we want to go into meditation, we have to be quite eligible or competent for that. And for being competent, we have to practice all these prerequisites. With this, I conclude my talk. And thank you very much for your attention and patience.